Okay, I need everyone to stop what they're doing because Isabeau Levito just said something that made her the most relatable Olympic athlete of 2026, and honestly Gen Z has already adopted her as their spirit animal. The 18-year-old American figure skater was doing an interview with NBC and the reporter asked her about her Olympic Village experience. Standard question. Most athletes give standard answers. Oh, it's nice. Great facilities. Good food. Whatever. But not Isabeau. Isabeau Levito looked directly at the camera and said, I've spent every night in the village. It's been everything and more. And you can't evict me. You can't evict me. Like she's a squatter. Like she's a college student who refuses to move out of the dorms. Like the Olympics are gonna have to call security to physically remove her from the premises. And the internet absolutely lost it. Within hours the clip was everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. Everyone was sharing it. Making memes. Adding captions. And the quote immediately became iconic. Because that is the most Gen Z thing an Olympian has ever said. And I'm gonna tell you why this matters. Why Isabeau Levito is changing the vibe of these Olympics. And why everyone needs to know who she is. So let's break down this entire story from the beginning. First, let me tell you who Isabeau Levito is because before this Olympics a lot of casual fans didn't know her name. Isabeau is 18 years old. She was born in September 2007 in Mount Holly, New Jersey. She started skating when she was 5 years old. Her parents put her in lessons and she immediately fell in love with it. By the time she was 10 she was competing at a high level. And by her early teens it was clear she had something special. She was landing triple jumps that girls years older couldn't land. She had artistry. She had technical skill. She had charisma. And when she was 14 years old her family made a huge decision. They moved from New Jersey to Colorado so Isabeau could train with Rafael Arutyunyan. Raf is one of the most legendary figure skating coaches in the world. He coached Nathan Chen to Olympic gold. He coached Alysa Liu before and after her comeback. He's trained multiple world champions. And he agreed to take Isabeau as a student. So at 14 Isabeau left her home, left her friends, left everything she knew and moved across the country to chase her Olympic dream. That's dedication. That's sacrifice. And it paid off. Under Raf's coaching Isabeau exploded onto the senior skating scene. In 2023 at age 16 she won her first Grand Prix medal. Then in 2024 she won silver at the World Championships. Silver. At 17 years old. She was the youngest woman on the podium. And everyone in figure skating said, okay, this girl is the future. She's gonna dominate for the next decade. She's got the talent. She's got the work ethic. And most importantly, she's got the personality. Because Isabeau isn't just a great skater. She's funny. Like genuinely hilarious. Other skaters talk about her all the time. Alysa Liu, who's her teammate and friend, has said multiple times, I love Isabeau's wittiness. She's the funniest person I've ever met. I love watching her skate, but I also just love being around her because she makes everything more fun. That's high praise. Because Alysa is pretty funny herself. But Isabeau is on another level. She's quick with a joke. She's self-deprecating. She doesn't take herself too seriously. And in a sport like figure skating where everyone is usually so serious and polished and media-trained, Isabeau stands out. She's just herself. Unfiltered. Chaotic. Real. And people love it. When Team USA announced the 3 women who'd compete in figure skating at Milano Cortina, it was Alysa Liu, Amber Glenn, and Isabeau Levito. The Blade Angels. That's the nickname they gave themselves. And Isabeau was part of the voting process. They threw out ideas. Powerpuff Girls, Babes of Glory, Ice Queens, and eventually settled on Blade Angels. Isabeau has talked about how much that team name means to her. Because in figure skating you're usually competing alone. You against everyone else. But having teammates, having sisters, that changes everything. Isabeau said in an interview, "I've never felt less alone than I do with Alysa and Amber. We're not just teammates. We're friends. Real friends. And that's so rare in this sport. That sense of camaraderie. That genuine support. It's what makes the Blade Angels special. And Isabeau's humor is a big part of that. She's the one keeping things light. Making everyone laugh. Breaking the tension before big competitions. That's her role. The comic relief. But also the heart. Now let's talk about the Olympics. Isabeau arrived in Milano Cortina, Italy for her first Olympic Games. For most athletes, the Olympics are nerve-wracking. The pressure is insane. You've trained your entire life for this. One mistake and it's over. But Isabeau seemed to be having the time of her life. She posted on social media about how excited she was. How beautiful Italy is. How amazing the Olympic Village is. And then came that interview. The one where she said, "You can't evict me." The reporter had asked her if she was spending her nights in the Olympic Village or if she was staying elsewhere like some athletes do. Because technically athletes are allowed to stay in hotels if they prefer. Some do it for privacy. Some do it for better sleep. Some do it because the village can be loud and chaotic. But Isabeau? Isabeau said, "Absolutely not. I've spent every night in the village. It's been everything and more. And you can't evict me." The way she said it was so matter-of-fact. So confident. Like she'd already made up her mind that she's living there forever and no one's gonna change that. And the reporter laughed. Everyone laughed. Because it was such an unexpected answer. Such an Isabeau answer. But here's what makes that quote even better. The context. Because this Olympics has had a bit of a condom situation. Let me explain. Every Olympics since 1988 has provided free condoms to athletes in the Olympic Village. It started as an HIV/AIDS awareness campaign. The idea was you've got thousands of young people living together. They're gonna hook up. So let's make sure they're being safe. And that tradition has continued for almost 40 years. Well, this year at Milano Cortina, the organizers distributed about 10,000 condoms to approximately 3,000 athletes. That's about 3 condoms per person. Seems reasonable, right? Except those 10,000 condoms were gone in 72 hours. 3 days. Completely out. And organizers had to do an emergency restock. The internet went crazy. Articles were written. Jokes were made. And then Isabeau Levito said, "You can't evict me from the village." Everyone immediately connected the dots. Oh, that's why she doesn't want to leave. The Olympic Village is apparently wild. Now, to be clear, Isabeau's comment probably wasn't about that. She's 18. She's chaotic. She probably just genuinely loves the community and the energy. But the internet doesn't care about context. The internet just sees 18-year-old refuses to leave Olympic Village plus condom shortage and makes memes. And honestly, it's hilarious. But let's talk about what the Olympic Village is actually like, because it's important to understand why Isabeau loves it so much. The Olympic Village is where all the athletes live during the games. It's like a self-contained city. There are apartment buildings where athletes stay. Usually 2 to 4 people per room. There are dining halls with food from every country. There are gyms, medical facilities, entertainment centers, rec rooms. It's designed to be everything athletes need in one place. And the vibe is apparently incredible. Because you've got thousands of young elite athletes from every country in the world all living together. Everyone's at peak physical condition. Everyone's riding this wave of adrenaline and excitement. And there's this shared understanding that you're all experiencing something rare and special. You're at the Olympics. That bonds people. So friendships form fast. Relationships happen. Athletes from different sports, different countries, different backgrounds all hanging out together. And according to basically every Olympian who's ever talked about it, the village is a non-stop party. Hope Solo, the American soccer goalkeeper, said in an interview, Tinder in the Olympic Village. It's all athletes. It's hilarious. I had a few friends make some money. Whatever that means. Ryan Lochte, the swimmer, has said, I'd estimate 70 to 75% of Olympians are having sex. That's 3/4. Tom Daley, the British diver, said as soon as the village opens, athletes are going at it everywhere. On the grass. Between buildings. People don't care. It's the Olympic spirit. These aren't rumors. These are actual Olympians going on record saying the Olympic Village is wild. And Isabeau Levito, an 18-year-old, is like, yeah, this place is amazing, I'm never leaving. The quote is even funnier when you know that context. Because she's not wrong. Based on everything we've heard, the Olympic Village sounds incredible. And honestly, if I were 18 and experiencing that for the first time, I'd probably say the same thing. You can't evict me. I live here now. After Isabeau's quote went viral, people started comparing her to other Gen Z athletes who've had similarly chaotic moments. Like there's this running joke on the internet that Gen Z athletes are different from millennials and Gen X. They're more unfiltered. More willing to be weird in public. More comfortable saying whatever pops into their head. And Isabeau fits that perfectly. She's not trying to maintain some perfect polished image. She's just being herself. And that's what makes her so relatable. Because most people watching the Olympics aren't elite athletes. They're regular people. And when they see someone like Isabeau being goofy and funny and real, it makes the Olympics feel less intimidating. Less distant. More human. You're not watching some untouchable superhuman. You're watching an 18-year-old girl who loves the Olympic Village so much she jokes about refusing to leave. That's relatable. That's likable. And that's why Isabeau is becoming a fan favorite. Now let's talk about her actual skating, because that's what she's there for. After the short program, Isabeau is in 8th place. Not where she wanted to be. She fell on her opening jump. A triple axel. That's one of the hardest jumps in women's skating. Alysa lands them consistently. But they're still risky. And Isabeau didn't fully rotate. She came down hard. Lost points. The rest of her program was fine, but that fall cost her. And after her skate, when she sat in the kiss and cry waiting for her scores, you could see the disappointment on her face. She knew she'd left points on the table. But here's what's important. Even after that less than perfect performance, Isabeau didn't lose her spark. In interviews after, she was still smiling. Still joking. Still talking about how much fun she's having. She said something like, yeah, I fell, but this experience has already been incredible. I've made memories I'll never forget. I've become closer with my teammates. I've lived in the Olympic Village and it's been everything I dreamed of. So regardless of where I finish, I'm calling this a win. That perspective is so healthy. So mature. Because a lot of athletes, especially young ones, would spiral after a mistake like that. They'd beat themselves up. They'd let it ruin their entire experience. But not Isabeau. She compartmentalized. She said, okay, I fell, that sucks. But there's still so much good happening here. And that's a skill. That's emotional intelligence. And it's rare in someone so young. The free skate already happened, but as I'm recording this we don't have final results yet. We don't know if Isabeau moved up in the standings or stayed in 8th. But honestly it doesn't matter. Because Isabeau has already won. Not in terms of medals, but in terms of impact. She's shown young people watching that you can be yourself at the Olympics. You can be funny. You can be chaotic. You can prioritize experience over results. And you can still be a world-class athlete. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. You don't have to be robotic and serious to succeed. You can be Isabeau. Witty. Joyful. Living in the moment. And that's a lesson worth learning. The other beautiful thing about Isabeau is her relationship with her teammates. The Blade Angels aren't just a nickname. They're a real friendship. Alysa, Amber and Isabeau genuinely love each other. And you can see it in how they talk about each other. Isabeau has said that Alysa is her inspiration. That watching Alysa come back from retirement and dominate made her believe she could do anything. Alysa has said Isabeau is hilarious and makes her a better skater because training is more fun with her around. Amber has talked about how the younger girls push her to take more risks. It's this cycle of mutual support and inspiration. And it's changing the culture of figure skating. Because historically figure skating has been cutthroat. Skaters see each other as enemies. Coaches pit them against each other. Parents fight in the stands. But the Blade Angels are proving there's another way. You can compete and still be friends. You can want to win and still want your teammates to succeed. And Isabeau is a huge part of that shift. Her humor breaks down walls. Her authenticity makes it safe for others to be themselves. And her joy is contagious. So there you have it. Isabeau Levito said you can't evict me about the Olympic Village and the internet made her a legend. She's 18 years old. One of the Blade Angels. Coached by Rafael Arutyunyan. World Championship silver medalist. Known as the funniest skater on Team USA. Currently in 8th place but says her Olympic experience is already complete. The quote went viral during a condom shortage which made it even funnier. She moved to Colorado at 14 to chase her dreams. And she's showing Gen Z that you can be yourself and still be elite. She's unfiltered. Chaotic. Joyful. Real. And that's exactly what the Olympics need. What do you think? Are you Team Isabeau? Would you also refuse to leave the Olympic Village? And do you think her humor is her secret weapon? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe because we're covering all the incredible Olympic moments. Until next time, remember that joy and excellence can coexist. Isabeau Levito is proof. Peace.